So, ang topic ko po is risk reduction and mitigation. Risk reduction is identifying way to eliminate risk, while risk mitigation is identifying way to execute a strategy with less risky. Risk mitigation implies that you are proceeding with an activity but want to find a way to make it less risky. Reduction includes the possibility that you avoid an activity altogether because it's too risky. Risk reduction encompasses both risk mitigation and risk avoidance. So, sinasabi po dito na ang risk reduction is tumutukoy sa pagbawas na maaaring maging kapahamakan. At ang risk mitigation naman po ay tumutukoy sa pamamaraan kung paano maisasagawa ang isang aktibidad ng mas ligtas na paraan. So, ito po is parehas na tumutukoy sa pagbawas ng maaaring maging kapahamakan. The goal of most security program is to reduce risk. Risk mitigation is accomplished by decreasing the threat level by eliminating or intercepting the adversary before they attack, blocking opportunities through enhanced security, reducing the consequence if an attack should occur. So, sinasabi naman po dito is ang hangarin ng bawat security program ay makabawas sa kapahamakan or panganib. Ang risk mitigation naman po ay sinasagawa sa pamamagitan ng pagbaba ng threat level sa pamamagitan ng pag-alis o pagharang sa maaaring kalaban bago pa man ito umatake, at mas paghusayan ang seguridad para maiwasan ang opportunity na umatake ang maaaring kalaban. Risk reduction and mitigation strategy includes number 1, contingency planning. Ito naman po is paghahanda ng isang organization upang maging handa sa epektibong pamamaraan at pagtugon sa biglaang pangyayari. Hazard prevention, pag-iwas sa mga kapahamakan. Likelihood reduction, maaaring mabawasan sa posibilidad na mangyari ang panganib. Risk avoidance, so pag-alis ng mga panganib, aktibidad at pagkakalantad na maaaring negatibong makaapekto sa isang organization. Yung risk transfer naman po is isang pamamaraan sa pamamahala at kontrol sa peligro na kinabibilangan ng paglipat ng isang kontraktual. Risk spreading po is sinasabi po dito na ang isang company is minimize yung risk sa pamamagitan ng pagsulat ng policies for many different policy holder para maiwasan yung risk spreading po. Yung risk transfer is same lang din naman po siya ng number 5. And then yung risk acceptance naman po is accepting or risk retention is a conscious strategy of acknowledging the possibility for small or infrequent risks without taking steps to hedge, ensure, or avoid those risks. So, but the best strategy for mitigating risk is a combination of all elements of decreasing threats, blocking opportunities, and reducing consequences. So, the best strategy of mitigating risk daw po is yung lahat ng combination ng elements. Risk reduction and mitigation components. A logical mitigation strategy ties asset to threats and vulnerability to identify risk. Solution for the identified risk typically enhance three phases of security: policy, procedure and training, physical electronic security system, security personnel. So, sinasabi po dito is ito daw po is yung pagbaba ng mga posibleng insidente or hazard mitigation component ay isa sa mga paraan para mapababa ang mga posibleng insidente. May tatlong solusyon para sa risk reduction para sa kaligtasan ng policies at sa mga sinasakupan nito. Number 1, Threat assessment. A threat assessment is a logical process used to determine likelihood of adverse event impacting your asset and to validate security level. It utilizes a number of different data sources to assess real, perceived, and conceptual threats. So, sa threat assessment po is para maprotektahan ng isang organization laban sa mga posibleng mangyaring insidente sa pamamagitan ng pagkilala at kaalaman various risks para harapin ang mga client pati na rin ang community. So, number 2, vulnerability assessment. A vulnerability assessment, sometimes referred to as security vulnerability assessment, is the analysis of security weakness and opportunities. The fundamental method for assessing vulnerabilities is the security survey, which is a tool for collecting information about the facility. The goal of vulnerability assessment is to identify and block opportunities for attack against assets. By effectively blocking opportunity, security decision maker can mitigate threats and reduce risk. So, sabi sa number 2, ang vulnerability assessment naman ay isa sa paraan para malaman ang risk sa computer, network, or security defect. Ang vulnerability assessment may fundamental methods sa pamamagitan ng pagkalap o pag-collect ng information ng isang facility sa pamamagitan ng security survey. Ang goal ng vulnerability assessment ay para malaman o maiwasan ang mga posibleng makasira sa asset. Sa number 3 naman po is crime prevention through environmental design. Since there are no two facilities that are exactly alike, a customized security survey to identify the unique security posture for each facility can be made during a vulnerability assessment, include assessment of compliance with crime prevention through environmental design. So, sa number 3 naman po is, from the word crime prevention through environmental design, ito po is para maiwasan ang crime. Ang environmental design ay nagfo-focus sa tactical design at sa pagpapalawak ng kaalaman sa environment para mabawasan ang krimen at takot sa posibleng mangyaring krimen po. Risk monitoring and control. Risk monitoring and control is required in order to ensure the execution of the risk plans and evaluate their effectiveness in reducing risk. It keeps track of the identified risks, including the watch list, and monitors trigger conditions for contingencies and monitor residual risk and identify new risks arising during project execution. It also updates the organizational process asset. So, ang risk monitoring and control is a crucial process in project management that involves identifying, analyzing, and responding to potential threats or opportunities that may affect the objectives, scope, schedule, budget, or quality. Yun po yung risk monitoring and control. Dumako naman po tayo sa purpose of risk monitoring to determine it. Ang una po is risk response have been implemented as planned. So, yon. Yung risk response ay pinapatupad ayon sa plano po. Risk response action are as effective as expected of if new response should be developed. So, yan po yung kasing effective ng ina-expect po nila. Letter C. Project assumption are still valid. Risk exposure has changed from its prior state with analysis of trends. So, yun, yung project assumption po is still valid pa rin daw po. Tapos yung risk exposure daw po ay nagbago, tapos inaano din po yung mga trend, yung mga uso. Letter D, a risk trigger has occurred. Letter E, proper policies and procedures are followed. Yan, sinusunod po. New risks have occurred that were not previously identified. So, input risk monitoring control. Ito po yung iba't ibang klase ng information na makakatulong po sa paggawa natin ng mga proyekto. Number 1, risk management plan. So, ito po yung pagpaplano natin regarding po sa ginagawa nating project upang maiwasan po natin yung risk na pwedeng pumunta doon sa ating project. Number 2, risk registered contain output of other process identified risk and owner risk responses, trigger, and warning sign. So, naglalaman po ito ng mga identified or nakikitang risk sa ating project. Kasama na po dito yung mga owner and yung mga responses na dapat nating gawin. Also yung mga sign na dapat nating i-implement. So, number 3 naman po is approve change request. Approve change include modification such as to scope, schedule, method of work, or contract terms. This may often require new risk analysis to consider the impact on existing plan and identifying new risk and corresponding responses. Sa number 3 naman po, sa approve change request, ito po yung pag-approve sa mga project natin na nagkakaroon ng pagbabago dun sa pagpapatupad natin ng ating mga project. Sa number 4 naman po is work performance information. Project status and performance report are necessary for risk monitoring and control. So, sa number 4 naman po, sa work performance information po is dapat maipatupad natin or mai-implement ng maayos yung mga work within the organization, and kailangan full detailed tayo regarding dun sa ating project po. So, dumako naman po tayo sa output of risk monitor and control. Risk register update. Risk register is update to include outcomes of risk assessment, audit, and risk review. Update may affect risk, probability, impact, rank, response, and etc. Actual outcome of risk and risk responses that become part of the project file to be utilized on future project. So, kailangan po natin i-update palagi yung mga risk registered natin or yung mga document na kung saan yung na-identified, na-evaluate, na-analyze, na-examine, at na-review dun sa project is kailangan i-audit, and yung mga probabilities or impact ng risk na nakakaapekto dun sa project and yung mga responses na ginagawa natin ay laging updated. Also, dapat yung risk registered natin ay nakalagay sa project file or document na pwede pang pakinabangan in the future. So, sa number 2 naman po is corrective action. Corrective action consists of performing the contingency plan or workarounds or previously unplanned responses to emerging risks. Workaround must be properly documented and incorporated into the project plan and risk response plans. Sa corrective action naman po is, ito po yung kinakailangan or dapat na meron tayong contingency plan or mga work around or permanenting solution. Just in case na nagkaroon ng risk, para alisin yung risk doon sa ating project. Sa number 3 naman po is recommended preventive action. Used to direct project toward compliance with the project management plan. So, sa recommended po is ginagamit po ito just in case na magkamali man tayo dun sa unang project management plan natin, is meron tayong recommended na action para ma-reduce yung mga potential hazard, threats, or risk sa ating project. Number 4 naman po is project change request. Implementing contingency plan or work around frequency result in requirements to change the project plan to respond to risk and the result is issue of unchange request that is managed by overall change control. Dito naman po sa project change is mag-implement po tayo dito ng mga pagbabago sa project natin or kailangan natin ng request doon sa pagbabago ng ating project. And kailangan, required po dapat na dumaan po ito sa masusing pagsusuri para malaman kung dapat bang baguhin yung ating project. Sa number 5 naman po, organizational process assets updates. Information gained through the risk management process are collected and kept for use by future projects. This includes templates for risk management plan, probability impact matrix, 3 risk registered, and lesson learned. So, sa organizational process assets updates naman po, yung mga information na nakuha dun sa risk management plan is dapat i-collect and itabil para magamit natin ito in the future. And dapat i-update palagi kasama dito yung mga templates ng risk management plan, mga probabilities of impact ng mga risk sa project, also yung mga responses na ginagawa, also yung mga lesson na nakuha mula dun sa mga risk. So, sa number 6 naman po is project management plan updates. Updates to the project management plan as a result of approval of request change. So, dito naman po sa project management plan, ito naman po is kailangan din natin itong i-update para ma-approve yung ating change sa project. So, dumako naman po tayo sa risk monitoring tools and techniques. Number 1. Risk reassessment. Project risk review at all team meetings and major review at major milestone risk rating and prioritization may change during the life of the projects. Change may require additional qualitative or quantitative risk analysis. So, kailangan natin palaging i-review and i-analyze yung mga project risk during na may meeting para malaman natin yung flow ng ating project. Sa number 2 naman po is risk audits. Examine and document the effectiveness of the risk response planning and controlling risk and the effectiveness of the risk owner. So, sa number 2 naman po is ini-examine palagi po and dapat nakadocument yung mga effectiveness ng risk na na-solve or yung responses na ginawa dun sa project. Also, yung mga effectiveness na ginawa nung may-ari ng project. So, sa number 3 naman po, variance and trend analysis used for monitoring overall project cost and schedule performance against a baseline plan. Significant deviation and indicate that updated risk identification and analysis should be performed. So, sa number 3 naman po is ginagamit para ma-monitor yung kabuuang project cost at yung schedule performance against baseline plan. So, sa number 4 naman po is reserve analysis as execution progresses. Some risk event may happen with positive or negative impact on cost or schedule. Contingency reserve analysis compares available reserve with amount of risk remaining at the time and determine whether reserve are sufficient. So, sabi naman po dito sa reserve analysis is sa pag-execution daw ng progress ng ng sum of risk event na nangyayari, may positive and negative impact daw po on cost schedule contingency reserve. At yung reserve analysis compares available reserve with amount of risk remaining at time determine whether reserve are sufficient. Kung yung reserve daw po is sufficient. Status meetings, risk management can be addressed regularly by including the subject and the project. So, yung risk management daw po is can address regularly. Maaring matulungan ng regular daw po by including the subject and project meetings.